Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. I'm using Gregory Scott's Tarot for our reading today. I'll choose 3 cards, read the base of the pack, and I'll also choose one from the gods, goddesses and angels as well for some extra guidance. So I'm setting the intention for a reading for the highest and greatest good for the collective or anyone who views this video. We are moving into the equinox, the spring equinox on the 21st. And the equinox is when there is equal amounts of light and dark. So there are times where we rebalance ourselves, we look at anything. During this time, moving up to the equinox, looking at any shadows that may be presenting themselves, old emotions, old thought forms as where we are maybe not as far down our path that we would have wished, that we feel that we are good enough. Lots of, and this is a theme that's occurring just now, self-worth. And when we remember we're exactly where we are meant to be, and that we are all doing the best that we can, and to really accept ourselves in this transition that we're all moving through. So during this time up to the 21st, and however you may be feeling, will be personal to you. We're all different. Just know that if anything's coming up, it's so easy to project it onto someone else, to not see another person's worth. It's so easy to do that. When we look within and we do not have those judgments, that we do not blame others for anything that is occurring around us now. And sometimes that's really difficult. It is really difficult because everything within us is telling us it's their fault, that they're making us feel this way. But if we didn't have those feelings within us to start off with, we wouldn't feel that way. However anyone was behaving or treating us, it wouldn't affect us. So this is a beautiful time and opportunity as we move in now into this balance to really go within and to look at any imbalance within us and purify it, do our self-healing, listen to our divine guidance, use our cards for messages, listen to somebody who is a pure friend, who doesn't judge and does not put their opinions into anything that you may be going through, that will sit and hold the space for us to offload now. There's so many things happening, showing light and shade. And if we're seeing shade in anyone, if we're seeing something dark in someone, if we didn't have that within us, if we didn't have those emotions and thoughts within us, those judgments, we wouldn't have those energy shifts when we meet different people. There would only be acceptance and love. So as we're moving up to this time of the equinox, it's a very powerful time. We have the new moon the day after. Then on the 23rd, Pluto moves into Aquarius after being in Capricorn from 2008. So big shifts occurring. After a few weeks it moves back into Pisces and it does that dance with the retrogrades. until ultimately it will settle in Aquarius. So we will get a flavour of Pluto in Aquarius from the 23rd. Being aware of these shifts of energy around us are going to invoke things within us, and this is why these shifts are occurring. When we take responsibility for our way of feeling and thinking, then we create peace in our life. We can't create peace around us if we have got some conflict going on within ourselves, about ourselves, or around others. So a wonderful time to do that. Mental, spiritual, mental, emotional and physical maintenance as we are moving into this place of balance. So I'm setting the intention for a reading for the highest and greatest good for the collective, or anyone who views this video. There we have one, the Knight of Swords, 2, the Eight of Wands, and 3, the King of Cups. So the Knight of Swords, you can see again this card has come up in our reading, and you can see the young boy there being chastised by the elder. And when we have this deep conditioning within us, and we have been told that we should be doing something else opposed to what we are being guided to do, opposed to what we love doing, and people who don't understand our path putting their opinions there, putting their perception on our life. And when that's happened from childhood and past lives, that dialogue is in our subconscious, it's in our cellular memory. So these thoughts that come up, and during this time as we're coming into this powerful balance, because in the northern hemisphere we then start moving into the light, in the southern they start moving into the dark time of the year, and gradually we come to the solstice, which will be the ultimate light for the northern hemisphere and the dark for the southern hemisphere. So we're constantly moving round this wheel of seasons. And as we're moving up into the light, anything that we've not dealt with over this karmic year, because we've had this powerful karmic year of 2022, and this is the ending of that, the moon phase. We're in Lent, and Archangels Michael's guidance to me during Lent is, I used to, being a Catholic girl, give up chocolate or sweets or something that I enjoyed. And Archangel Michael asked me to give up a thought form, an emotion that is no longer serving me, that is robbing me of happiness, that is an old pattern within me. Just one thought form, one negative conversation that I may have with myself that invoke these old feelings of not being good enough, whatever it may be for you. And so I started to shift those thoughts, and to the point where I really don't have thoughts. I have messages come in, but if thoughts come in that are not in light, that have got some connotations to them that are not healthy for myself or a situation I'm in, I allow them to just flow. I don't create stories. I don't listen to them and start questioning and build up until we're in such a state of confusion. And it's all based on us chastising ourselves. Our mind, our head, thinking that we should be doing better, or it may be telling us we're not loved, which anyway it is personally for you. This is what's going on, okay? This is the old conditioning that don't really understand us. Still, somewhere in our subconscious, bringing in thoughts and feelings that make us act in a certain way, make us retreat, self-sabotage, whether it is through chemicals or overeating, whatever it may be. We're all different. So there's a change coming, and the change begins with us. It doesn't happen on the outside world. People don't start to become, they will still be themselves. And if there's anything in there within us that is triggered by what they say or how they behave, we know there is something that we are taking personal, that we are going into an old belief that is no longer serving us. So as we change, so we're at this end, we're coming to the end of this powerful year of karmic cleansing. The last lunar cycle, the last lunar waning cycle of this karmic year, coming into the balance of the equinox, where we are moving into the more light. So we are starting to now become active. The northern hemisphere, they are starting to retreat. So we are starting to awaken. And we're being asked not to let those old limiting beliefs to keep us in that place of retreat. Allow any unhealthy thought forms to just come and go. The thoughts will always pop in. It's not about having no thought. The thoughts come in. It's when we start to have a conversation with those thoughts, and then they start to churn up emotion. They start to bring up all that cellular memory of what's happened to us in our past. The sword is there on the table, and to move into a frequency of forgiveness. We can't forgive from when we're in a place of anger. It's just a complete different frequency. It's rising, it is dissolving the anger, dissolving the pain, and this is not condoning what anyone else has done. It is just going within, asking our angels, our guides, our loved ones in spirit to help us to come into alignment with the frequency of forgiveness. And it's nothing in our head. We might tell ourselves that, yeah, we're forgiven, but then when something happens and triggers us, we start behaving and reacting in the same way. True forgiveness is no matter what goes on the outside, it does not affect us. I'm not saying we're completely cleansed of it, the trigger will be there, but it's, I'm not going to send this out into my future now. This is my past that I'm repeating and repeating. I'm carrying this forward into my future. So this balancing of the equinox, and our angels and our guides are asking us to tune into the frequency of forgiveness. We don't have to understand it. We go in silence with the intention of connecting to that frequency of forgiveness. And doing this also will cut those cords. It will dissolve vows, because if we are asking for vows to be dissolved from a place of resistance, we don't want that energy near us, from a place of real dislike. It's completely different frequency to when that vow was made. So it's not as effective when we tune into the frequency of forgiveness, with the understanding that whatever has been done to us, maybe we've done in a past life to someone else, and to take the responsibility and first and foremost ask for our own forgiveness, to feel that forgiveness for ourselves. Because when we move and we do the self-healing, we would never inflict pain onto another, not intentionally. And this is all about this time, we're in Lent, this time of sacrificing our old patterns. It's not sacrificing something good, it's allowing those old thought forms, feelings that are chastising us, to actually move into the light now. And as we change that, and the nights always bring change, so whatever you've been working on, if you're feeling stuck because we've reacted from these thought forms, emotions, behaviours for so long, and once we start chipping away, we come to a point of we don't know what the future is, because we've been forever bringing our history into our future, because that's all we know. It comes to a place of complete emptiness, a void, and then the energy comes in, and from that starts to move really quickly. You can see there those ones flying in, and bullseye right in the center of our heart, getting things moving, getting unstuck, coming off that repeat on that stuck record that we keep speaking about and constantly talking about. And we know when we're not coming from a place of alignment when we speak, because we won't feel good later. We'll feel heavy. Whoever we've been speaking to will feel heavy. Words carry power, absolute power. One word can really damage someone internally. One word can open somebody's heart and help them to remember who they are. So it's choosing word by word, being awake while we're speaking, not going in to that repeat of the old. And then there we have movement coming, energy coming into our heart now, activations of the heart, activations that are aligning each of our chakras. And with this, I'm just feeling grief of the past, whatever grief that we may be going through at this time, that's coming to the surface also. Grief of maybe moving on from a relationship, maybe somebody who's passed, maybe grief of the past, because we're all so different, life's so different. And when we allow that grief to teach us, to listen to it, to be aware of what happens around us when we go down into that grief, what happens in our physical bodies. So lots going on. Chiron, Jupiter are communicating throughout this equinox. Jupiter expanding us. This is contraction. Contraction changing to expansion. Expanding us. And connecting to the infinite field that's out there. There's an infinity, a field around us that we are constantly projecting into. So when we take our attention into this moment, take a breath, don't carry anything. If something is starting to bother us in any way, put it down, because it will become a burden, an heavy burden. So put it down, put them down. They're not meant to be carried. And as we put them down, they do dissolve, because we take our attention somewhere else, and something that we love doing, maybe reading, maybe doing some artwork, some writing, speaking to one of your friends, one of our friends, and moving that energy and wonderful energy as the equinox, as the new moon. These are seeds that are planted, that we have been planting, and we are allowing now the room for them to grow within us. They first grow within us through thoughts and feelings, and then they materialize on our outside world. And I've just seen, if you can see the arrow there in the center of the heart as angel wings. The angels are around us, guiding us with love, helping us to stay in our alignment, in our authenticity, because that's where our strength is. It's not by thinking that we have to do what others are asking us to do. It comes from living the life that is for us, that brings us peace, that fills us up with joy. And during this time, because things coming up, we might not be able to sit in joy. There may be a block there. There may be some heaviness there. And then we know we've come on and we are starting to work on another layer, because we can't feel it. We can't feel, maybe we can't feel love, maybe we can't feel gratitude. We know we've gone asleep. We know we've gone into the past, sleeping away, dreaming in that past, in those past emotions, illusions. So as we sit and ask our angels, our loved ones in spirit who are wanting us and guiding us to happiness, helping us on our path, constantly with us, taking us through the veils of illusion until we start to see with crystal clear intention of who we are, of what our passion is. The ones are around passion and our career, so our soul purpose, and that is the message that's coming through. We are waking up to our own soul purpose. Our soul purpose is not to make sure everyone else is happy. That's a good thing, but to make sure we are happy first, that we are coming from that place of joy, that our cup is overflowing with love and joy, without any agenda, without any of the old perceptions or our old wounds projecting onto anyone around us, seeing them from a place of transparency, that everyone is a soul. Everyone is a soul. We're here learning, growing, ascending, evolving, and each of us, we all have that divine within us, but we're all doing it differently, because that's what we're here to do, to create that tapestry of life. And when we come from our heart, we start to master, we start to do our stitching of our tapestry, the stitching with intention, with love, with gratitude, with joy, with colour, beautiful time. We are just now, anything that's feeling dense is showing us, look, there's a block here. You're feeling this. That's what's creating the block. And then to go within and do the self-healing, do the cleansing, using essential oils. Frankincense is a beautiful oil for helping to release deep emotions that cause disease within the body. Whatever oil you are drawn to, whatever oil or flower remedy or crystal or rock outside, whatever you're drawn to, this is what Chiron is bringing to us. It's opening the wound. We're feeling the wound, and then Chiron is the sacred healer, the shaman, the Reiki master that showing us the wound, but then paying attention around us to what is our antidote to that wound. It's not going in the head trying to fix it. It's not going outside trying to fix it. It's coming into our hearts and listening to what is going on within. And a rock from nature, feeling it and allowing it to draw out any intrusions from the body. A beautiful rock. It has a vibration. It has an intelligence that's far greater than ours. And we just walk through life blind. Once we start to awaken and look and lie on the grass when it becomes warmer, it's a beautiful day today, put our bare feet on the ground, allowing anything that is feeling out of alignment, that's feeling unbalanced within us, to just melt away through the soles of our feet, taking nice deep breaths, breathing fresh air into our lungs, shifting any stagnant energy, because when we are stressed, we shallow breathe, so we hold energy at the bottom of our lungs. It stays there. It's stagnant. These emotions that are coming up for release, when we keep suppressing them, they become stagnant, they become dense and cause disease within the body. Mother Earth is asking us to step out, to allow her to align us through the soles of our feet, to breathe in the air from nature. There are negative ions outside that don't come inside our home, and to really take in the beauty of nature. And at the core of us, we are all nature, and we're all starting to awaken, but awaken from the internal work that we've been doing over this powerful karmic year. Chiron is there guiding us with Jupiter, the planet of spirituality, and holding us, and Neptune and the sun are conjunct, so that beautiful dreamy energy of imagination, of really focusing and feeling the beautiful energy of whatever we are visualizing, and then being flexible to whatever comes on our path. It may be different to what we are visualizing, but when it comes in, it's like, wow, this is far greater than I could ever imagine. So leaving room for the divine intelligence that is residing within us to guide us. So a wonderful time. This is a time of hitting the mark, where we've been getting the Knight of Wands, chopping in this deck, chopping the wood, staying focused. We hit the mark. We will get there. Whatever we focus on, we will bring into our lives. And then we've got the King of Cups, maturity, emotional maturity. He's sat there holding his cup, offering us from the other side of this mental dialogue that may be chattering away to us. Sometimes it's far back there, but once we're aware of it, we start to move it. And the King of Cups the romance, the love, everything in alignment, spiritual gifts. Clear intuition, tapping in to our own unique gift. And this is what the divine is doing, and this is the divine masculine bringing that gift as we balance the divine feminine and our divine masculine within, and anchor this energy into the core of our being, into the heart of Mother Earth, feeling the strength that we have at the core of our being when we chip away at the layers that tell us we are weak. What we're doing is pointless. People giving their opinion about us from their own perception. And when we take out, even from the people closest to us, the people from our past, maybe teachers, or however we have been conditioned from childhood and from past lives, moving away from that conditioning now is not brought us happiness for a lot of us. So the King is here offering us that beautiful gift, the gift of love, of divine love, the gift of creation, of creating our own heaven on earth within. We can't create it for anyone else. We can't create it on the outside. We tend to our inner environment, our inner temple, and this energy is flowing, assisting us through this powerful shift of consciousness that we're all going through. But there is love there. Neptune and the Sun conjunct, shining that divine, spiritual energy, helping us to listen to our guidance. So beautiful cards today. And the base of the pack is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the spiritual teacher. And you can see in this deck, it's beautiful. I love this deck. It is a child, innocent, no agenda, going within the innocence, the pureness of love. There are handshakes all the way around bringing unity. Because if we are pushing someone away, that is not spiritual. That is not coming from our soul, it's coming from our ego. Shaking hands, acceptance of ourselves and others. There are people there with their hands up to the divine. The Hierophant is helping others to connect to God, their angels and spirit guides in their own unique way, because we all connect differently. We all have our own personal relationship to the divine, and the divine will only bring love, will never bring anything else. The divine love, miracles. Connecting now to our higher self and listening to those beautiful words of love that come through. And as we listen to those words of love, the chemicals within our body change into beautiful healing energy that brings miraculous healing energy into the body. When we're listening to our ego that is overprotecting us and tells us everything that's wrong in our lives and what is there for us to feel fearful about, it changes the chemicals within our body to a toxicity. One thought changes, and that's our choice. Go within, listen to your own spiritual guide within during this time. There he has a cross above his head showing. We go up. We're at a crossroads. We're definitely at a pinnacle point in our lives, in our evolution. To go up, to reach for the highest feeling, thought that we can, and allow that thought to dissolve the lower. Allow it to be louder than anything that is fearful. A wonderful time of change as we're coming in to this equinox. So I'm setting the intention for a reading for the highest and greatest good for the collective or anyone who views this video. We have the goddess of nature. You reap what you sow. Dream it into existence. Exactly what this reading has been saying. Neptune conjunct with the sun in Pisces is all around imagination, dreaming, because ultimately everything that we see in this physical world was first a thought. It was first in that energy of spirit, and we bring it through from spirit. First it's a thought, then we have the passion to create, and then our physical body creates it. So sit now and reap, and this is the goddess of nature, and she's holding up the moon. We're coming to this time. Sit during this time for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, for 2 minutes throughout the day of coming into alignment, feeling that gauge within coming into alignment, and allowing anything that's out of alignment to dissolve with that intention. We only need the intention. So a time of things coming into fruition. Nature is awakening. The energy that we have been focusing on in spirit, feeling the passion of whatever it is that we are creating in light. The light coming in now, especially moving into the new moon in Aries, giving us the motivation and the energy and the excitement of creating something new. And we're all different, we're all new. As soon as we let go of something that has blocked us, that we come to a realization, an enlightenment, we shift, and that part of us is no longer, and we are reborn with a clearer understanding of who we truly are. So beautiful cards today. So I'm sending so much love. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and connect with the frequency of forgiveness, first for ourselves, and then allow it to go. Even thinking of a person, allow it to just vibrate through us to wherever it is required. We might not even know, we might not even see. Allow, just feel yourself coming into alignment, coming into the frequency of love and forgiveness, and feel that and intend it for ourselves, and then allow it to just go wherever it is required, to allow us to cut those cards, to dissolve those vows, asking it to go through all directions of space and time. So sending so much love. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you so much for listening. God bless. Thank you.